Hello everyone, Namaste, and welcome all of you again for the question and answer live session 2. I hope you're all enjoying the Health Revolution Summit and you might have watched interesting videos presented by different doctors about different topics on the benefits of a plant-based diet. And today we have two eminent doctors, and I'm sure that you're going to benefit out of this session. So I would like to welcome Dr. Bharat Rawat, who is a cardiologist. He's an interventional cardiologist and he's associate director at Medanta Hospital, Indore. Dr. Rawat is credited with the initiation of modern cardiology practice in Nepal. He was involved in the treatment of thousands of common Nepalese expats, as well as the king, the prince, and the prime minister of Nepal. Dr. Rawat worked as the executive director and the chief of cardiology at Novik International Hospital, Kathmandu. Dr. Rawat has widely traveled all over the globe for his professional presentations and is a member of all the leading cardiac societies. Dr. Rawat has been honored with numerous awards and felicitations for his medical and social services in Nepal. He has written or the 3 books, Cath Lab Manual, A Healthy Lifestyle for Healthy Heart, and recently Dil Se Dil Tak. Dr. Rawat is a vegan, a marathoner, book reader, nature lover, and a motivational speaker. And we are really glad to have him here. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and we have one more doctor to join us. He is none other than Dr. Pramod Tripathi, the founder of Freedom from Diabetes. He'll be joining us shortly. Dr. Pramod is a doctor, innovator, healer, motivational speaker, and above all, a humanist. Dr. Pramod Tripathi is a pioneer of diabetes reversal in India and the founder of the Freedom from Diabetes movement. He has innovated and perfected an integrated protocol over 9 years. We are happy to have both of these expert doctors here, and we'll be answering, our experts will be answering your questions. So if you have any questions related to diabetes, and if you have any questions related to heart problems, please feel free to post it, and we will get the answers from our experts. Thank you again for joining us.
So, hello. There you are, Dr. Pramod. We can see you.
Dr. Pramod Tripathi.
Hello,
So,
Dr.
Dr.
Saravanan.
Pramod.
How are you?
Hi,
Dr.
I'm good. Nice to
Rupa,
see you.
How are you? Hi, it's been a long time. Good to connect.
Hi,
Yeah,
Dr.
and there's
Pramod.
Dr.
This is
Bharat.
Bharat here.
Hello, Dr.
Dr.
Bharat.
Bharat.
Good to meet you online.
Wonderful. So, shall we start with the question answer? There were quite a few yesterday also on diabetes, and also we have some today also. So, Dr. Saravanan, over to you.
Yeah. So there was a question yesterday about how to reduce the HbA1c level and achieve a diabetes reversal. So that was a question. So we were waiting for Dr. Pramod Tripathi to provide the answer to this question.
So, just kind of repeating the question, it was about how to reduce the HbA1c
and achieve reversal of diabetes with a plant-based diet.
Okay. So, the moment you go plant-based, the reversal begins. It's just that reversal goes through various stages in terms of certain percentage becoming free and certain percentage undergoing remission. And the plant-based diet creates a great beginning for that because it alkalizes the system, reduces the inflammation, reduces the insulin resistance, provides the micronutrients, liberates the energy, and many benefits come one's way. Just that I always and I felt in 9 years that once they kind of reduce the excess fat and reduce the inflammation and improve the micronutrients, what's also needed is they work in a very structured manner with respect to stuck up blood, which is connected with stagnated lymph. And for that, we found things like Surya Namaskara, world's best warm up in graded manner help. And if they are able to do this for like 2-3 months, a plant-based diet with lymphatic circulation exercises, they achieve good reversal progress in the beginning stages. Later, what starts happening is at a behavioral level, there is after you are strict for some time, there's a need for cheating. They want to, in general, they want to have some more variety and stuff like that. What is required for that is some more flexibility coming in along with building of the muscles. Because what I found is till the game is of fat loss, we're just playing in the domain of carbon, hydrogen, oxygen. You eat less, basically carbohydrates and fats both are carbon, hydrogen, oxygen. You eat less, you'll reduce fat. You eat more, you'll gain fat. The real game is adding nitrogen into the game. That is improving muscle. So them pushing themselves over a period of time into, let's say, 108 Surya Namaskara or 10K running, 25K cycling, or whatever is relevant for their age becomes very important, because once the nitrogen starts getting attached to the carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and they start building more protein, is when I find the reversal is sustainable. Okay. And with that, life situations they should be able to handle, because the travel, the the problems in terms of marriages, functions, cold seasons, festivals, surgeries, infections, many things come up, and the mind has to be wise as to how do they adapt the diet, modify it, exercise pattern. If you're able to do all of this, HbA1c is going to come down. Just shifting to a plant-based diet, the HbA1c is going to come down. Okay, provided they are on the right dosage of medications and insulin secretion is adequate. So there's a journey which one has to undertake to understand the word reversal. I see people taking at times 6 months to just understand the word reversal and internalizing it, and the word freedom and the word remission. So it's a journey that they need to take. Yeah, but plant-based diet, of course, it's proven already by enough number of doctors and researchers that it's a mega tool for us to go forward.
Thank
Dr.
you so
Pramod,
much
do you
for your
want
answer.
to, may I just ask, sorry to interrupt, do you want to share one of the most, a couple of most impressionable stories of reversal that you have seen in last 10 years?
Okay, quite a few of them are there, and at our major yearly events, we do share more details about them. But what I remember right now is, let's say, Dhanraj, Rajpal, Mumbai, 31 years of diabetes, insulin medicines, both stopped, and has undergone remission and cleared glucose tolerance test. Okay. Plus, we see a lot of reversal also happening for kidney problems now. Up to 2 creat, there are quite a few of them, in fact, in hundreds, who've been able to bring it down to below 1.2 or 1. So that's very crucial. 2,300 plus are free of cholesterol tablets, 1,000 free of BP tablets, 13,500 free of diabetes medication or insulin. So the list is long. It's difficult to choose people, but yeah, typically with people with more than 30 years of diabetes or 20 years of diabetes, there are and then hypertension and cholesterol together also. Them going a joint reversal. Debashish Mukherjee from Delhi, 25 kg weight loss, cholesterol gone, BP gone, diabetes gone, GTT pass. That's another example that comes to my mind. So cases are a lot of them. So these two come to my mind right now, Dhanraj and Debashish.
Awesome.
Great to hear that. Thank you, Dr. Pramod Tripathi. So there is a question related to heart health. I would like Dr. Bharat Rawat to answer this question. So the question is from, the question is from Hafreesh, and it's, I have a question. Very often, mostly twice every week, I keep getting extreme pain in the chest and also in my left side of the stomach. Taken all tests, including sonography, and everything shows normal. I don't understand why I keep getting such unbearable pains. Doctor, over to you.
Nice, thank you. So this is not uncommon. You are not the only person under the sky who has such type of issues. it is because of fear. Unfortunately, there are people who have actual heart disease. They are sitting home thinking it is gas. And there are people who have absolutely no disease, and they keep knocking one door to another clinic and so on. So as many as 30% patients whom I see in my clinic at Medanta Hospital Indore actually have no heart disease, and it takes more effort to convince them that you are okay. So friends, here I am here to tell you few tips. How do you differentiate between an important pain and a pain that you could rather ignore or tolerate, or just pop in a paracetamol or something and stretch, and as was just told you, do some sets of Surya Namaskar, the best stretching, and maybe you are going to be fine. I also feel that few types of pranayam also, when you do like Ujjayi pranayam, it expands your chest and you release it and then expand again and hold and then release. All those type of things also relax your muscles. So the type of pain that you should be bothered about is the chest discomfort that bothers you when you walk. Suppose you are walking and you have to stop because of chest discomfort, and then you take rest and you become all right. That is angina. Okay, so then you need to really see some doctor and investigate it further. So my principle is walk and watch. So if you are able to walk, say 2 miles in 35 minutes roughly, I mean, depending on your age, 40 minutes or 35 minutes, 2 miles, and you don't have to stop in between because of chest pain and not knee pains and not breathlessness and not something else. But because of chest discomfort, you don't have to stop. By and large, you are good. So I really don't want you to investigate too much. And I'm an interventional cardiologist and I do angioplasties every single day. But I also want to tell you that we sometimes overdo because sometimes doctors are also a little more worried than what possibly they need to. And of course, patients are worried and scared. So again, one should try to aim, आपका आवश्यकता से कम इलाज ना हो और ज़्यादा भी ना हो. And for that is very important is walk and watch. तो चलने के कई फायदे हैं. You have multiple benefits of walking. Your blood pressure drops, cholesterol, sugar, weight. It is good for your mood and mind, but it is also good because it tells you how you are. So there's an additional benefit of walking 2 miles in 35 to 40 minutes, and you don't have to stop because of chest discomfort. You are good. And then what to do else? As I told you that if your doctor says, if you've done a test, if you are a say 35, 40-year gentleman, and if you have done your ECG and a treadmill test, and that is good, and you don't have to stop while you're walking, I think you could ignore it. If you are a woman on the other end, and if you are a premenopausal woman, say below the age of 50 or 45 years, then odds are even lower that this could be coronary or cardiac. So premenopausal women by and large are free of possibility of anginal pain or heart attacks unless they are diabetic or smokers.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Thank you. So we have a few more questions.
Just one more thing I want to tell here. Sometimes, people complain of gas, bloating, and that also they say that, it is gas or it is heart. So first thing I tell everyone whenever you come with bloating or gas or any type of acidity or something is go vegan first. Stop your dairy. And I again tell you 30% people would be relieved at least just by stopping dairy. Stopping dairy for 3 months would solve the problems in at least 1 in 3 persons who has any type of acidity or gas or whatever you call it, because it is some kind of lactose intolerance or something which is so widely prevalent and people don't know about it, and people cannot, of course, check through simple investigation. So it is a good idea to at least experiment, and then you see the results. Yeah.
Very true, sir, and that's a very effective and simplest tool to deal with this bloating and flatulence. Thank you very much for your insights. So, there is another question related to heart health. This is by Nirmal. What about fish? It is said to be good for heart.
Yeah, so that's a very interesting question, and let me tell you, before I became vegan, the most two difficult things to drop were fish and curd. And you are right on the spot. That possibly these were the two things I really thought it took me quite a amount of effort to convince myself that I need to stop these two as well. So now everybody has his own reasons. I tell my patients and I tell my people whom I meet and in my social media and my talks and all, that stopping anything other than plant-based food is not just for your health. Having said that, I can still talk about fish, that the problems with the fish and the impurities and the toxins that you can have unless you really get something from very fresh source or whatever. But they are their set of problems. So fish are not free of problems. But even if you believe that fish was good for health, because there are certain associations, American Heart Association also sometimes recommends that once or twice a week fish eating might help. But then point is that, so I am vegan and I want people to get vegan is not just because of physical health of my own. It's also because of the animal welfare, and it's also because of the Mother Earth's health. So if you really take in total, then there are other sources of things, whatever you want to eat fish for. And since you asked this question, let me tell you, one of the reasons the last day I actually stopped eating fish was my birthday. And I think it was 40th or 42nd birthday or something 15 years ago. When in Nepal, I was pretty popular because I did angioplasty to the king and president of Nepal and prince of Nepal. And I was the only angioplaster for 15 years, 10, 15 years, at least in the beginning. So in one of my birthdays, there was this big restaurant where they had this fresh pond with fresh fish. And this gentleman knew that I loved fish. And he asked me, Dr. Rawat, aaj aapko kaun sa fish paka ke de? That was very painful, friends. Oh no, I told him that you have asked such a wrong question. And I don't think I would like to have fish now. And that was the last day I ate fish. You cannot take away from I could not ask them कि यार इतनी अच्छी डांस करती हुई जो फिश है उसको निकाल लो इस पॉन्ड से और रख दो मेरी प्लेट पे और खा लूंगा मैं इसको अपने बर्थडे पे. So मेरे अपनी बर्थडे पे किसी और का लास्ट दिन कर. So that was an emotional thing, of course. But I'm just trying to share with you that how did fish stop from my diet? Even though there were earlier books that I've written, in the chapters I've mentioned this, that if at all you want to have some non-vegetarian food, maybe you could go for curd and fish. But now I don't take any of that. I am sure that I have not answered you completely, but that's what my answer is.
Thank you very much, sir. And thank you for sharing your personal experience as well. I hope this motivates many people to choose a plant-based diet over a fish-based diet. All right. So in this regard, there is another question. I would like you to answer this as well. So the question is by Nick, and it is how to increase good cholesterol levels, HDL.
Great question, Nick. And the answer is, by and large, HDL thing is increased by being physically active. And there are two things I want to tell you. There are a few nuts that you can have, and how many nuts I normally tell people, जितने आपकी मुट्ठी में आ जाए, ठीक है? के अलावा physical activities को बढ़ाइए. How much physical activity, how much is too much, that also is very important. So that's another topic which I can't discuss it right now, but briefly I can tell you about 150 to 300 minutes per week of moderate intensity exercise is what you need to look for. 150 to 300 minutes, that is 1.5 hours to 3 hours a week of moderate intensity exercises, aerobic exercises, is what you need to look for. So if you are doing that, and I think that is the main. There are certain artificial methods, there are certain medicines which have come up to increase HDL, and let me tell you, all those studies have not shown any improvement in the events. So they have showed the improvement in the HDL level, but that artificially increased HDL level did not translate into the reduction in events like heart attacks and deaths. So I'm not surprised, of course, to see this. I mean, artificially changed things would barely have impact, especially for when you're talking of primary prevention. So in primary prevention, the role of medications is really, really minimal, and one should know that.
So sometimes, like the drugs, give us a false sense of security. People think I have taken aspirin, so everything will be all right.
Yeah.
So it is
So somebody who has suffered
taking
a
more
heart
drugs.
attack, somebody has got a stent in place. I think aspirin is possibly a good idea. But then let me again tell you, all my dear friends here, that we doctors also do not know many times what is the absolute risk reduction or NNT. When you talk, suppose, for example, if I tell somebody that you take aspirin or you take statin, and not that I don't give statins, but at least you should know that if I give you statins, you have like 50% risk reduction in the heart attacks. Okay, you may be right. So that 50% is from 8%, the risk becomes 4%. That actually in absolute risk reduction is 4%, right? From 8 to 4. Now, if I told my patients that you have risk reduction by 4%, not many would like to take pills. Possibly I may also not like to take pill. 4%, are you crazy? That is NNT of 25. Means I give this medicine to 25 people and one will have one reduction of an event. So that is absolute risk reduction or NNT, number needed to treat. So we only talk of absolute risk reduction, which looks very good. But I tell you that because this primary prevention thing is considered on people who are otherwise low risk. So the baseline risk is 8% without statins, becomes 4% with statin. To somebody, it may look a very wonderful result, but if you really look at it in a different way, it is nominal. So at least you should know what is the absolute risk reduction before you pop in any pill. And I'm not against writing pills. I'm working in a private hospital, large private hospital for 27 good years. But I just want that, we should not try to support industry just blindfolded.
Wonderful. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. We have some questions for Dr. Pramod Tripathi as well. Dr. Pramod, I hope you're there.
Yes, very much.
So there is a question from Jay Safani. This is a question to Dr. Pramod Tripathi. Sir, what is the ideal fasting glucose level and what is the upper limit? And there is another question by the same participant. Also, the BP level, ideal, and the upper limit. Thank you.
So there are 3 levels typically for fasting, which we keep in mind while treating patients. Super ideal, if you want to go the Dr. Cousin's way, then it's 85. Okay. But I find that's very, very difficult to achieve for most of the people. And even 110 fasting is good enough that way. Okay. Over a medium long term. And as you are beginning the reversal journey, I find even if the fasting is sugar shooting to 120 or 130, if it's remaining below 140, it's okay. Because all the free radical generation is above 140. So diabetics typically have Dawn's phenomena, which is built over 5 to 10 years before they got diagnosed with diabetes. The liver is habituated to dumping that 1/10 of a teaspoon of sugar in the morning in the blood. So, fretting over 126 fasting and 135 fasting is not really worth it. There's enough other work to be done. So that's my take on the fasting levels. 85 is super duper ideal, very rare for people to reach. 110 is good enough. And in the beginning journey, first 6 months to even 1 year of your reversal journey, if it's below 140, just relax, do everything that is needed to, make it better. It will take its time because the glucagon, the growth hormone, the corticosteroids, and the liver dumping, all of them are playing their role. And hormonal normalization is going to take its time. It's not going to happen overnight. Okay, so that's a practical take. As far as PP goes, again, 140 is the best, and one should aim for that consistently. But as one begins the reversal journey, I feel even up to 160 is okay, and up to 180 we say in orange zone. So below 160 we say green zone, up to 180 in orange zone. Beginning stage is okay because you can maintain a 7 HbA1c with your sugar shooting to 160 or 180, and our aim is to keep it below 7 for a large chunk of population in the beginning 3 or 6 months. With elderly participants above 60, 65, even a 7.5 HbA1c is okay. So that's my take. 85, 110, 140, 140, 160, 180. 140 will be good to go for in the longer run, but up to 160, it's okay. Relax.
That's a very good answer, Dr. Pramod, because patients nowadays, monitor at home and are, calling up in huge panic. Today it is now 160 or so I will keep repeating probably exactly like how you say, because of the paranoia that is created. You must maintain your blood sugar, and then
Yeah,
if they want to take 1 unit of insulin extra or not, they call up.
no, not at 160. You start increasing doses above 180 pp, above 140 fasting. You start reducing doses below 120 fasting, below 160 pp. If it's insulin, if it's medicine, below 100, below 140, you start reducing the doses. That's how we follow it. Also, what's important is to keep a 24-hour window. Out of 24 hours, if I'm able to maintain my sugars below 140 for at least 18 hours, whatever free radicals are generated in those 6 hours, I have another 18 hours to neutralize them. So I don't have to get really panicky. And when I give this tool of 18 by 24-hour sugar window, you are in a reasonably okay control. Don't worry. Then they are able to relax. Then I say, okay, if you can keep your sugars below 140 for 21 hours, then it's a pretty good control. You are going to bring your HbA1c definitely below, 7 or even 6.5, and then they are relaxed. So what happens is the daily sugars at times doesn't give a perspective of the 3-month average. And you need to educate the participants accordingly that you keep a 24-hour window. Out of 24 hours, minimum 6 hours, okay, or less, your sugar should be above 140 minimum. Okay, and if it's going even, let's say for a couple of, let's say one of the PPs went to 200 or 180, and everything else is below 140, fasting is below 140, you can take it easy. It's a part of the reversal journey. There are going to be ups and downs in the process. It's not going to be linear curve. The whole left brain thinking, reductionistic thinking, linear thinking, it doesn't work. Body is very non-linear. They sleep late, sugars can shoot up by 20, 30 points. They've had a fight, stress in office, 50 points, the sugars can shoot up. So they have to just kind of keep things in perspective and take intelligent decisions accordingly.
And at times, tight sugar control or even hypoglycemia itself may be a problem. Yeah. Dr. Pramod, are you there? Okay, we can see.
No, that's I came in
Yeah,
just
I was
from
just
a
saying,
session. Parallelly, I finished my dinner also. Yeah, you saw a plate. It went on the reverse camera right now. Yeah, too much sugar control, definitely it leads to hypoglycemia for those who are in high doses of medication or insulin. So they should be avoiding that very much.
thank you very much for this insight.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Dr. Pramod. So there are a few more questions for Dr. Pramod. So there's a question by Dr. Divya Satlanu. So what are your comments about fruit diet? And followed for 2 months. I followed this for 2 months and seen excellent results in diabetics only on fruits and mono fruit any amount. So the question by the same participant. So we would like to have your thoughts on this, Dr. Pramod Tripathi.
Okay, so yeah, every diet I've seen over like past 10 to 15 years come with a certain benefit and a wave. There's a wave also I see at times. There's a wave of a 2-meal diet. There's a wave of fruits in the morning and then once a grain. There's a wave of no food till 12 o'clock. And now there's a wave of fruit diet which has begun. The moment you change the diet, you're going to get benefits. Any diet you're going to go given a keto diet, you change, you are going to get benefits. Okay. Paleo diet, you're going to get benefits. So that way, we have to just kind of take in perspective in entirety. What is it good about this diet, like a fruit diet? Yeah, it's going to bring a lot of alkalinity and detoxification of the body, tremendous reduction in inflammation. A lot of advantages are going to happen. Again, the question after that is, all right, we have 10,000 patients, okay, which we have to handle in a year on a rotation basis. How many of them will this diet be relevant to, number one, and how many of them will be able to do it in a sustainable manner for a longer period of time? So any kind of diet which is a detoxification diet, like a fruit diet or a juice diet or a smoothie diet, it needs to be taken for a certain period of time. Okay, when you want to detoxify the body, the danger is when a detoxifying diet becomes a regular diet. Okay, a detoxifying diet becomes a regular diet, because then the issues will come up in terms of balanced nutrition, both macro, micro, both over a period of time. So I had created a lot of videos earlier on scientific explanation, benefits of each types of diet. They are there on the YouTube channel of Freedom from Diabetes. You can go through that. You get a lot of insights of pros and cons of all kinds of diet. And I found one very, very important thing, and that is no one diet is universal. No one diet is eternal. If there was any one diet which was universal, no, by now the entire world would have adopted it. And there's no one diet which is eternal, which means no one person can follow the same diet for life or should follow the same diet for life. Seasons change, the body needs change. When you want to build muscle, when you want to build strength, when you want to build stamina, yes, there are examples of fruitarians doing marathons also, and the body has innate capabilities at times to synthesize protein from the amino acids in fruits also. I'm not denying that, but I find it very challenging to administer that or go by that for the participants themselves at a large level. So yes, Dr. Divya or whoever is experimenting with fruit diet, please go ahead with it. You will get excellent results. A lot of anti-inflammatory properties are there. So beat the arthritis, skin issues, tummy issues, fat loss, energy levels soaring up, all of that's going to happen. Okay, just decide till when you want to do that, for what purpose, and then when do you want to bring in the other food elements, because they're also significant and relevant in terms of your own health and well-being. So ensure that you reintroduce all that so that you can come back to a balanced, sustainable diet over a longer term.
Yes, perfect answer. We say the same thing. You change your diet as per the needs, as per the individual, as per the situation where you live, as per the season, as per the requirements of the activity in your lifestyle, your exercise level, everything. What is seasonal, what is regional, what is fresh, available. All these will play important role. Wonderful. Thank you. Dr. Sarvanan, what is the next question? Or
I think there's a
should
question
I
on,
read out?
is it okay to do a 7-day water fast at home? Jay is asking if it does not have any medical condition. Yeah, depends on your BMI also. Jay, if your BMI is on the higher side, you are overweight, of course, please go ahead. You can do it. Monitor your BP levels also so that they don't go down. And yeah, keep drinking water every 15 minutes, 20 minutes, especially shahi pani, the way we call it, water which is some soaked sabja seeds or chia seeds in it, with some saffron, some salt, and some lemon inside it. Keep drinking it every 15-20 minutes, and that's useful to suppress the hunger. You can go for a water fast diet if you want to have weight loss, but if you're already underweight and if you do something like this, then it's not really relevant. So it's good to do things in consultation with the experts and do it based on a proper purpose or a goal that you have. Okay, but generically, if there's no medical condition, yeah, you can try it out if you're overweight.
Thank
There's
you.
a
Thank you very
question
much.
for, yeah. Sarvanan, there is a question for this preventive angioplasty someone had. There's a long one.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And we have one more question for Dr. Bharat. So I'll be going one by one. So Nirmal Rawat, the question is, I had a preventive angioplasty due to 70% blockage in LAD in 2018. I'm 43 years and I run on alternate days and I do run marathon. My wife is pulling me to not run as she assumes what I'm doing is extreme because of recent death due to celebrities. I run 5 kilometers on alternate days daily for last 3 years. My rest parameters are okay as I do annual test. Sir, we would like to have your opinion.
Okay. So thanks for this question. Let me start with one statement. I'm not sure you will love to hear this though, but need to be honest. In many of my cardiology conferences, I have now stopped going to those meetings since 3-4 years now. But until I used to attend those meetings, I used to ask this question: is there anything like preventive angioplasty? So we can talk about this sometime later. But friend, I'm really sorry to tell you that I'm not convinced that there's anything called as preventive angioplasty. Okay, so for a 70% blockage, you basically want to say that you did not have any heart attack, and it was just incidentally found out, and the treatment was offered to you, and it was done. Now, I'm not criticizing anyone. I mean, good luck to you. Congratulations, you got it fixed, and looks like you are fine. So if there was a problem that occurs in about 8% patients, the stent is rejected, and there's a 2% risk of death during the procedure. So you have come out of all that 8 or 10% total risk. And if at all this happens, it happens within first 6 months or a year. Mostly it doesn't happen later than that. So it's been more than that. So that way you are safe. I mean, when a patient comes to me, I normally tell them that there's nothing called as the preventive angioplasty, because you are actually touching a plaque, a blockage that you call fatty deposition, which possibly was stable. And we actually can make it unstable by putting a balloon and by pressing it with any mechanical method. So anyway, so that all done is done. Now coming to your what can you do? See, we just touched this part that physical activity, how much is too much. So I know you need to understand there's an addiction. There's an addiction of you have addiction of sweets, you have addiction of alcohol, you have addiction of tobacco, an addiction to exercise. So you get addicted to exercise, and this is most common amongst runners, also gym goers. And this addiction is one of the reasons why sometimes we ignore our symptoms, because it gives you a kick. I'm a marathoner too. I have done full marathon, and I'm a regular runner. I'm at least 60 or 70 times half marathons, and I run. But one needs to understand that it is not to add days to your life. Not adding days to your life. So 20 minutes of physical activity is good, better than 10 minutes. 30 minutes is better than 20 minutes. 40 minutes is better than 30 minutes. 1 hour maybe marginally better than 40 minutes. 2 hours is definitely not better than 1 hour. If you talk about a daily basis exercise. So similarly, running, for example, now 5 kilometers run is fine. If you do it at a slow pace, according to your age, maybe, a slow pace would be, say, around comfortably, say 6 or 7 ka pace. And if you are taking care of your hydration part, you are taking some blood thinner, I'm sure. Once your stent is in place, your blood thinner is on, and you should do a stress test, maybe alternate years or something, just to be sure that you are not ignoring your symptoms, and you take care of it. You listen from your treating local doctor. Your wife is she obviously has some concern because she has read those stories in media. I also want to tell that more people die of heart attacks outside the gyms and outside the running tracks, many more. So not every single death in gym or in the running track should really make you depressed. So, sometimes these events are blown out of proportion because thanks to the media. And therefore, not everybody needs to get too worried about it. And don't stop doing exercises. Exercises are important. And so I guess again to summarize, maybe 2 kilometers or 5 kilometers alternate days is, I guess, it's fine, as long as you have taken permission from your treating doctor, and take your wife along with you. So the doctor tells right in front of her, and do a stress test, say alternate years. That would be my answer. Yeah. Anything else on this?
Thank you very much. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your detailed answer. So there is another question. This is a long question from Amit Aneja. Amit says, um, yeah, sir, I'm facing breathing issues. If I do walking or climbing stairs, I showed to a respiratory doc and he gave me Foracort. My question is it because of respiratory problem or some heart related? And if I climb on first floor only, like 15 stairs or some heavy work, like lifting a suitcase or small work, even sometimes, I feel like I'm facing difficulty, but I cannot explain myself properly. And more history from them. So, age 56, taking hypothyroid medication 75 mcg and 75g, and then Hamid doesn't consume non-veg much and only consumes eggs, drinks very occasionally. So this is the history
Thank
given
you.
by them.
Thank you very much. And for all the people who are posting questions, one should understand that like such individual questions are difficult to be answered, and you should not really take it as a replacement of your local doctor, and who's always at a better position to answer your questions. Still, I can give some guidelines. I would like to know your weight first of all. If you are overweight, possibly that says it all. Secondly, did your doctor do your basic test like pulmonary function test before giving you a bronchodilator? Right. So the pulmonary function test will tell you, is it something to do with your lungs? Then you could ask your wife, do you snore in night? And how bad? Maybe your wife doesn't know, then you get a sleep study done. I would like to then, of course, since you are 50 plus, you can, of course, do your cardiac tests like echocardiogram and chest x-ray and ECG and maybe a stress test. That will answer. I won't be surprised if all the reports are actually normal and it is all in your head. I mean, at least 30% people actually just need to be reassured. There's nothing, but it is difficult. It is difficult for a doctor to tell you that you are good, and therefore, sometimes if you are short of time, you are given some pill or some medicine of some sort. So my request to you is that go back to your doctor, ask the diagnosis. Don't leave your doctor's office without asking diagnosis. Make him commit to a diagnosis, and if it cannot, then let him do certain tests if he wants to do. But at least before you take a pill, you should know your diagnosis. So as I said, pulmonary function test will tell you if it is a bronchial asthma, and some cardiac test will tell you whether it is cardiac problem. Check your weight, check your mood, do some pranayam, and I think and check your sleep pattern. I think you should be fine. Don't worry.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for your detailed answer. So there is one more question regarding heart health from Sumit Kumar. Please tell the role of coenzyme Q10 and cysteine level. I think it might be homocysteine level in heart health.
Yeah, that's a good question again. So I am aware of the fact that CoQ10 supplements have been available in market since few decades now, and so is the suggestion about homocysteine levels. You see, the point is, let me put it like this: in cardiology particularly, or possibly in other branches as well, the progress in the diagnostic field so much. On the other hand, the progress in the therapeutic field, not so much. So, the progress in therapeutic field, unfortunately, does not match with the progress in the diagnostic field. What I want to say is कि जितना हम diagnosis कर सकते हैं, उस information का फिर हम क्या करें, हमको नहीं पता है. तो मतलब हम doctors को. And then we restlessly look for answers, but we don't get the results. So whether it is any kind of supplements, any type of pills, so ये तो खैर principally I am not in favor. I'm the last person to ever get convinced that any supplement is going to help. So I don't write any kind of supplements, whether for patients or protein supplements for runners, or like I don't take supplements myself. So you can also ask your doctor, sometimes, डॉक्टर साहब आप CoQ10 का क्या सप्लीमेंट लेते हो? पूछना चाहिए कई बार डॉक्टर से भी. अच्छा डॉक्टर साहब ये सप्लीमेंट्स आप कितना लेते हैं? अच्छा आपने अपना एंजियोग्राफी कराया कि नहीं कराया? आपने वो क्या कहते हैं प्रिवेंटिव एंजियोग्राफी, प्रिवेंटिव एंजियोप्लास्टी, हाउ मेनी कार्डियोलॉजिस्ट, हम लोगों के लिए तो बहुत आसान है, हम लोग तो नहीं कराते हैं अपना. तो कहने का मतलब ये, अब जैसे होमोसिस्टीन है, so if you take your vitamin B complexes through your proper diet, I guess your concern should be out. Yeah, one can always argue, and I'm sure that the other speakers who are going to talk about B12, and that could be one supplement. So that could be possibly the only exception, that I sometimes might feel that a fortification or a supplement could be needed in some cases, if it is documented low. But even मेरे को तो उसमें भी डाउट होता है कि who has decided that these are the normal levels of vitamin D or B12 or whatever it is. I mean, who decides that this is below this is normal, whether it is cholesterol, blood pressure levels, sugar levels, and everything. So these are not so easy, straightforward things to suggest that you need supplements. So again, to answer your question, CoQ10, yes, we have studies to suggest that it is important, but CoQ10 supplements, I don't think that any study has supported them, and there are no guidelines in the world to suggest that CoQ10 supplements should be given to cardiac patients. And homocysteine levels, I don't check on my patients anymore.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, sir, for the answers. So we have two questions for Dr. Pramod Tripathi. Dr. Pramod, I hope you can hear us.
Yeah, very much here.
Okay, so Kushi Goel asks, is it necessary to have a protein-rich breakfast after workout, or can a green smoothie of fruits would suffice?
If you are doing a heavy workout, like a gym workout or something, it'll be good to add some protein powder, plant-based protein powder, within 45 minutes after the workout. Fruits, yes, they could be taken before the workout, before you go for it. And after the workout, it'll be good to have some ready-made protein going into the system.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you, Dr.
sorry to interrupt. I'm thoroughly enjoying, by the way, Dr. Tripathi. I think I would love to meet you sometime personally. What wonderful way of absolute logical answers, and I think listeners are absolutely lucky to have you on board today to
Thank you,
answer
sir. I mean,
with your great experience. Lovely.
We
admiration
are
is-
lucky to have both of you today. Very lucky.
Dr. Bharat, admiration is mutual, because the way you are coming across with the clarity and experience, actual experience you have in cardiology, is really nice. So I've been like watching your answers also quietly, putting my camera off when you're answering. So I'm enjoying that.
That's anyway. So yeah, but I'm extremely. The only thing here, again, as you said, that's what I do. I mean, I take proteins after I come back from my run. The only thing is that I tell people, make yourself. मेरा ये बिल्कुल प्रिंसिपल हो गया अब लाइफ के अंदर, that I'm little anti-industry, any industry. So I tell people as much as possible, please, for God's sake, don't buy things. So as you said, I would just definitely support. So I make powder. My wife is very nice. She gets all those things, all those flax seeds and dry fruits and everything, and crush them, and then there's a smoothie with some fruits, and so or some almond milk maybe. So yeah, so if somebody can make at home, that's even better.
Yeah. So what happens with us is, because we handle large numbers of people, we have become automatically all inclusive. So we've got a homemade plant-based protein powder with pumpkin seeds and nuts, and the whole works ready. So that is given to them. If possible, do it or yourself. At the same time, we don't say no to a ready-made plant-based protein outside, because it's like just the sheer numbers of people. No, everybody is not comfortable doing it at home, and pushing and nudging is needed. Of course, if you push and nudge, they do make it. But I think I'm not anti anything in general, unless there is grossly something wrong going on.
Yeah, I see your point.
Because we don't need, like for example, pills. We need pills, as you said. You're not anti pills. You need pills. So you need the diabetes medication. You need the insulin. It's all need based. So yeah, take judicious calls. Be as much as plant based as possible, and homemade as possible. Again, organic at times that thing comes up, but it becomes very challenging for people to be 100% organic. So just keeping the realistic trend that is going across the world, and convenience is needed for people. We definitely allow plant-based proteins. Even I try it out. I usually try varieties because usually what we recommend to others, we try it out ourselves also
That's right,
as a team
absolutely. Yeah,
to see how we are feeling, how we are experiencing, how our blood parameters are moving. So you get a broad idea.
everyone can also make tofu at home, so that's very
Yeah.
easy.
Very true. Very true. Soy-based things also help a
Thank you,
lot.
doctors, for your.
Yeah, go ahead. Anything else?
Thank you so much for your answers. Yeah, there is one more question. There is one more question to Dr. Pramod Tripathi. So this is from Jay Satvani. So question for Dr. Tripathi. You still look like you're in your 20s. What is your daily routine and diet like?
Yay! Thank you so much for giving a compliment. I love receiving compliments of being young. My whole journey in life, right from my MBBS days, were to search and find things which will help me remain young, my participants remain young. I've started 50th year of my life now, from 15th of November, just a few days back. Yeah, I do feel young,
Wow.
25. Yeah, I do feel young, 25, 30 year young. I think I would have to thank genes first of all, and thank the good nutrition at home. Thank my mother for that. Exercise is also moderation, sometimes more, sometimes less. I love doing 108 Surya Namaskara once a month with all our participants across the world. Who can do it? Some of them do 24, some of them do 54. So I like doing that. Some weight training twice or thrice a week, cycling maybe once a week or once in 2 weeks. I'm able to adhere to my exercise regime maybe 30-40%, not a lot. But a basic plant-based diet with some deviations here and there in case if it happens, it happens. Um, a reasonably decent exercise regime, and I have to also exercise in front of the participants because I take live programs, and also automatically my exercise quotient goes up. And I think a lot of good energy flows because of the positivity and stress work we do, and the purpose also. The work itself nurtures us so much because I find a lot of energy flows with purpose and principles. If the purpose and principles are of a higher order, automatically you get nurtured with a lot of energies. I would invite those who want to remain younger, try the Mystic Mantra Surya Namaskara variation. It's a download I received on why Mitraya Nama first, why Ravaya Nama second, and stuff like that. And you visualize the sun movement, and you visualize the energy movement inside the body as you see the sun movement with all the 12. You receive energies at the 11th one. Arkaya Nama, you receive the juice for today. What's the juice for today? Tell me the juice for today. You receive it. And you play around with your energy system, which is around your body. You play with the aura, with your intention. And I find that also helps a lot, along with breath work, meditation, some weight training, cycling, good food, good purpose, good principles, and great genes, and loving people around. I think having love around, having respect around, having appreciation around, and allowing that to also flow through you are very, very important to help you remain young. And sometimes fasting in between. I do a 7-day SNS fast, smoothie, nuts, and soups fast. And that's very nice just to feel like you've been eating too much for too long now. 3-day, 7-day, zup. Fasting is also anti-aging. So I play around a lot, and that helps. Sorry. Yeah.
Thank you
I
very much,
hope.
Dr.
Awesome.
Pramod Tripathi.
Awesome.
Yeah, sharing these wonderful tips to maintain youthfulness, and I hope these secrets will help to live as a centenarian as well. Thank you very
Yes.
much for your inspiration.
Very much. The intention is to hit 100, Saravanan. I think you, Rupa, all the 6 of us who were with Dr. Nandita, I think we were blessed to go to the plant-based nutrition training that time. It was really wonderful. And for our participants also, I kind of keep telling them that, yeah, we need to have the maximum centenarians hitting from the FFD team. And they're doing amazing work. I mean, the kind of feedback we get and the kind of advancement they experience in their health is like mind-boggling. You feel, oh my God, they're doing so much more than what was told or taught to them. They just take off on their own only. So it's really nice to see all that.
Absolutely. And we really look forward to a lot of centenarians in our country, people free from diabetes and free from heart disease, living a healthy, happy life. And thank you, doctors, for your wonderful work, and thank you for your wonderful contributions. So there is another question. This is out of the subject, but I hope either of you could answer this. So this is from Nilesh Zalavadia. I'm in Toronto, Canada, age 59, male, advised doing a cataract surgery. Can a plant-based whole food diet help avoid surgery?
I would say I don't know.
No, I would say just get it done now. It's just a small operation. Yeah, you'll start looking and feeling younger. And it's like I'm just coming with an example. It's like a story, a parable. There's a yogi who spends a lot of time, I think 40 years, learning how to walk on water. And then he goes to his teacher and tells, I learned how to walk on water. And he gives him a whack. एक थप्पड़ मारता है उसको, बोलता है क्यों 40 साल वेस्ट किया? You could have learned something more. There is a boat now. Go in the boat now. What are you unnecessarily wasting your time walking on water? So, अरे cataract हो गया यार. We hair surgery available, ले लो ना. It's such a small surgery. Finish it off. Yeah, if it can be reversed to a plant-based diet, do go for it. But some of these things which are consolidated at times can become challenging. तो कर डालना चाहिए, खत्म कर देना चाहिए. और अगर कोई एक्सपर्ट मिलता है जो बोलता है कि हाँ मैंने 100 लोगों का कैटरैक्ट अवॉइड किया है विद सो एंड सो डाइट, इट कैन बी एनी डाइट और एक्सरसाइज, आई थिंक यस, गो फॉर इट डेफिनेटली. बट डोंट मेक एन इशू ऑफ इट, जस्ट कर दो यार, स्मॉल थिंग.
चलिए, good, nice.
Awesome.
Dr. Tripathi, if you ever come to Indore, do let me know. I mean, it is such a pleasure to know, to listen to you and to see you today.
We have a Indore club kind of happening of our participants. We've got now around 60 clubs in around 40 cities of India of all our past participants. And one of our ex-participants is going to cycle from Kashmir to Kanyakumari. I think is going to be passing from Indore. And we may also travel to Indore. So anyway, I'll definitely keep it in mind. It's been an absolute joy to have you speak out your experiences, and I would definitely look forward to meeting you sometime. Absolutely.
Okay. Bye-bye.
And
Bye,
you-
everyone. Bye.
Bye-bye.
And
Thank
happy
you
birthday
very
to you,
much.
50th birthday. Wow, great. Many happy
Wow.
returns. Stay young
Thank
and
you,
keep
man.
spreading smiles.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Bye-bye,
Dr.
everyone.
Pramod. Thank you, Dr.
Thank you, Dr.
Bharat, for
Bharat
being
Raman.
here. Thank you, Dr. Saravanan. And we are going to have a
Thank
next
you.
session again from a cardiologist, Dr. Akhil Tahir. That's beginning in 1 minute. It's a recorded session about heart diseases in Asians. Okay, thank you. See you all again in the next session. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you,
Good
doctors.
wishes
Thank
to
you,
all.
everyone. Thank you.
Good wishes to the summit. May it reach to many more people, and many more people benefit from it. Thank you and bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Pramod. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Rupesh. Thank you.